Hey, good morning, everybody. I'm just going to bring you a little update on my Sunder League Star character. Sitting at level 93, have not died yet. Probably have 30 to 35 real played hours on this character. I think I show a little over 40 on the front/played counter, though realistically I've spent a decent chunk of time AFK. So haven't pumped crazy amounts of time into the league. We're talking 2 hours a day on average or so since league start, and that's got us sitting at 16 watchstones, but pretty good completion for where we're at, and definitely could have progressed the Atlas more aggressively than I did, but I was kind of playing with some things with the way that I wanted to progress it, and really kind of messed up what I was even planning on doing. All that said, I'm not unsatisfied with where I'm at. Going sort of slow and steady and hardcore is always fine. I'm going to jump in and show you a little bit of gameplay. This is just on a tier 11 map, 1 damage mod, 2 damage mods for the boss itself. Damage is definitely starting to drop off a little bit, but I can do, the mid-red maps quite comfortably. But you can feel the single target anyway starting to drop off just a tad. But that said, I haven't had like any close calls at all. You can see you pop stuff pretty good most of the time. For general mapping, you're typically one-shotting rares, or in some cases two-shotting them, because there are minions surrounding them. You get to take advantage of the, all the impaler stacks popping very quickly. And keep not hitting that guy with 1 health left. You can see I actually like to play with blood and stand in a position where I can stance swap. I think the blind is just too powerful to give up. I think people are insane for not running it, honestly, especially in hardcore. I mean, I guess if you stack enough fortify effect, you can get away without it, but I really don't need it, and the extra AoE is very powerful anyway, so it's really solid in ultimatums, as you'll see. Essentially, you want to wind up your Fist of War and just kind of run back and forth. Thankfully, we got a monster slain one. So you can see the sort of chain reaction of death that happens. But yeah, all the extra AoE you get from Fist of War and from the what the hell happened there? And from the expanding stages of Sunder mean that 1 hit really kills a lot of stuff. So you can spend a lot of time moving, which keeps you way safer. There's a lot of mods also that are just no big deal. We have good chaos res right now as well, which is great. And really long duration molten shell with good uptime. So I've bailed on just a handful of things where I was like running a corrupted map for Atlas completion. The mods were kind of pushing it, and the terrain was like made me a little uneasy, and I got a bad combination of mods. It's like 2 or 3 of these, if that even, that I've bailed on. So pretty comfortable. How cool would that have been if I was recording the video and got a headhunter right there? No such luck. You can see, my health wasn't really dipping, and we were really cooking on killing stuff in there. Oh, Saffel's frame is actually a nice one to have. So that's kind of just what a map run looks like. Let's touch on the major upgrades that I'm going for right now. So weapon, obviously, we can get something like 30 to 40% more damage depending on how crazy of a weapon we get. Eventually, we are going to use Harvest and eventually start delving for physical fossils as well to try and get the best Karui chopper we can. We'll probably go for either a Warlord or Crusader influenced one. Both of them increase the odds of getting, a third increase to physical damage on prefixes. Get a 6-link here, obviously. The chest itself is okay, but we also want to get the base upgraded to an astral plate. And as well, it would be great to get a hybrid temple mod or maybe like a warlord's chest or something like that. Hunter could also be okay. I believe that's the one that has % life, though I might be thinking of belts. Either way, there's a couple of options there. Jewelry is trash to mediocre, but does the job for now. Eventually, all these bases we want to be different too. We want the % life rings, and we want the blue pearl amulet for mana regen. Once we get Chainbreaker online, which also brings me to that point. We want to swap out this jewel for a Lethal Pride jewel. We would hit several notables here, which would give us a lot of good just general stats. And of course, Chainbreaker, a pretty powerful node. It's less powerful on a lot of builds, but considering the frequency with which I generally attack, because I'm very often actually waiting for Fist of War procs, I think that the rage usage is even going to be potentially a buff for this character in terms of sustaining rage. So we'll see. Not 100% sure about that. Let's see how it kind of like plays out in real combat scenarios. Boots, endgame viable. These have over 100 health. It's 95 actual health and then another 20 from strength. So these are legit. I even have a prefix to slam. If I get a Conqueror's Exalt, I might use one of those. I have to look through the mod lists and kind of see what I think the chances are of getting something good. But honestly, even just armor and evasion would be great. These gloves are totally solid, decent resist rolls, really good resist rolls, not crazy, and a solid armor roll. Obviously, mana gained on kill is dookie, but we also have an open spot for a slam here. Belt is, again, good, but not crazy. An upgrade is potentially there. I have a better leather belt sitting in my stash right now, so I might even swap to that. It's got a third resist on it, but I would like to go with a Stygian, especially since I can get an Abyss Jewel that gives Onslaught, because I do not have Onslaught right now. Helmet is okay, mostly because of this enchant, but we have a better helmet sitting right here, ready to be used. Totally solid. This could even be a little better too, but the int is still useful for me because it's going to allow me to save this passive point right here and run Enlighten for what is the last major kind of upgrade I can think of, which is some kind of reduced mana reservation to get me to running Pride. Either that'll be on an amulet, if we can get a Warlord's amulet, or I'm going to start, again, trying to get Helm Enchants on that other guy. If I can get reduced mana reservation on Pride or Flesh and Stone, that would be great, though there's a lot of other Helm Enchants that are reasonable, and farming them now is also not completely insane. It's actually completely realistic to get some kind of usable Helm Enchant, which is great. So those are kind of the major upgrades. 6-link, better weapon, Lethal Pride Jewel, giving me Chainbreaker, get rid of Herald of Purity and replace it with Pride once I get enough reduced mana reservation. I do already have an Enlightened Gem, which I need to start leveling up. So those are the major upgrades. We're thinking 2 to 3 times the damage that I have right now. If I get a really crazy weapon, it could even be a little bit higher than 3 times the damage, and we can have significantly more life, and then we get the Berserk damage reduction buff and move speed and all that good stuff. So a lot of good things on the horizon, but you know, I'm in it for the long haul, going slow and steady, just trying not to die, and you know, I don't have time to go no life this. There's a lot of people who played more hours than this the first weekend. So that said, that's where we're at. If you're interested in the build, I really encourage you giving it a shot. I think Sunder is fun and has an interesting play style. It feels more like a real Slam play style than some of like the Earth Shatter Earthquake builds that people end up running. So if you are interested in trying it, like I said, I encourage it. Feel free to ask questions. If you catch me on the occasional weekend stream or want to post questions on this video, feel free to do so. I will catch you guys later.